All right, I'm here with Dima. How are we doing today, Dima?
Hey Ram, I'm fine, thank you. You?
Doing pretty well. So it's about 1 p.m. for me, and what time is it for you?
And it's about 10 p.m. for me.
Thank you for being willing to do this. So if you want to just jump right into it with a little bit about your background and how you got into building SaaS products in the first place.
Okay, my journey is pretty simple. Like I worked as a software engineer for 10 years, and after 10 years, it was a couple of reasons, but I decided to quit the job, and I have a nice opportunity. My second child was born. I had a pretty good, pretty solid runaway, so it was a combination of factors that I thought was a perfect moment to try myself as a full-time entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever you call it, I don't know. Indie maker, some people call. So it was 2 years ago. I quit the job. I started building projects, building in public and marketing and so on. And after 2 years, we're here. Yeah, so it's super short story about myself. But we can dive into the different areas, details, whatever you want.
Just out of curiosity, which were you more front end or more back end or full stack in your day job? What skills did that kind of
Uh,
provide you with?
yes, I was backend developer, like server side, 100%. And I must admit that it's not, I don't want to say it publicly, but I didn't front end in that days of my career. So I was fully backend developer, like not even the API for front end, but API for APIs for front end, this kind of developer. For example, when I worked at an exchange and building an exchange. There was a public API for front ends, yes, and I provided an API for this public API for front ends, so this kind of backend. And I enjoyed it a lot. I built a lot of API stuff, and this one, basically, this is maybe the reason why now I'm building an API. I have experience in this, and maybe that's like retrospectively, if we think about it, it may be the core reason why I'm doing this.
Cool. So you have two projects, but today we're gonna focus mostly on damn good tools, unless we end up talking about the other one, which is always a
Okay,
possibility.
okay.
But I guess first, just how did you come up with this idea? And what other ideas did you have at the time that you decided to actually just focus on this idea?
It's a interesting question because I don't have an answer for it. It's like spontaneous for me. Among the tools, I started building this project when I was at the local minimum of my journey, of my like state, and I was a bit of tired of my current project screenshot fun. Also, I saw a lot of hype around AI. It was May 22, three, four, I don't know, I don't remember. Two, three, four, and a lot of new libraries like LangChain tools, new even open source language, large language models, yes. So I was curious what I can just build to try all this stuff and to maybe to to keep up with the new technologies and to have some kind of maybe, I don't know, if I can capitalize on this somehow, maybe sell it all. I didn't think about it that way when I started to build it. So what I did, I just went to LangChain repository or documentation, and I started playing with this library, and I'm trying to remember, and I was like what can I build with this? What can I build? And the first idea I had, it was probably February 22. It was an AI chatbot. Like there is a lot of such bots now, yes. But in February, I built a prototype with my friend, and we I reached out to my another friend with a startup who had a lot of documentation, and we asked if he is ready to pay for us for this bot for to install this bot on his website, yes, and to use it. And he was pretty impressed, but I wasn't impressed. I didn't like the quality of the bot. It for me it looked like uh, if it was the real test was because I had screenshot one at this time, yes, and I had support tickets, I had a lot of incoming requests. The real test for me was that I don't want to set it on my I don't want to put it on my website, yes. And I thought, okay, I couldn't sell something that I don't want to use myself. Like I don't like the quality of this. And I abandoned this idea. In the next month or maybe 2 months, I saw many people building this tool and making, wow, tens of thousands of dollars. Yes. Okay, I thought that was the first thing I tried. And then I saw, okay, what else can I do? Okay, chatting with website, chatting with documents. So I built something simple, PDF, chatting with PDF, something like that. And I was lucky enough to launch it maybe plus minus 3 days with Damon Chen. He has a PDF.ai. I don't remember a precise timeline of our like interactions, but I remember it was plus minus week, the same week launching these projects. So it was, yes. So I built this PDF chat with AI. It now sounds super boring, yes. But at that time for me it was super exciting. And I didn't know how to host it, what is the use case. It was just for fun. I didn't know. So I just bought a domain like Daemon Good Tools and put it on the site. Yeah. Then I added another tool and I had some kind of fun because it's very easy to add new tool. It's very simple. You already have a platform for building them. And people love them, some people use them, and some people even asked for more features it was and were ready to pay for them. So that was probably how I came up with this idea. Later, I think a few people reached out to me and asked if they can also build such tools or using such kind of domain, I don't know, cool tools. It was a strange question. They were afraid that if they would build these tools, I would claim them like copycats, but I think it's a bit naive. I'm okay with people copycatting my ideas or doing. I don't even see anything like original in this project. So it was, and because of this timing, since I launched, I think it was May 22. Oh, sorry, 23, 23. The time flies. Many newsletters, AI newsletters, product hunt, everything, like a lot of, they just picked up my project and started to promote it and started to publish it. Okay, go and look this PDF chat. It was riding this hype wave, yes. And so Damon recommended me just in public Twitter discussions. He replied to some of my tweets. You need just to focus on this PDF tool and to build a business out of it, probably. But I didn't listen to him. I thought I felt a bit of awkward to do it from the one perspective, and I also didn't understand um, how to monetize these tools, how to position them, like what for whom are like who will use these tools. Yes, so I kept building these tools. That was probably how I started this idea. I hope I answered.
Okay. You started with the chatbot. That was like the first one.
That was that was the original idea that pushed me to the direction of the PDF chat, and then I started with the PDF chat. That was the first tool.
Okay. And were these tools that you just use in a browser, or did you download them to your desktop?
Yes, you could use them in a browser, and you could yes, just use them, and without any sign up, you didn't need anything. They were just open
Okay.
for free, and so this kind of way.
So how did people find them initially?
That's a funny question because not a funny. It will be a funny answer. Sorry, the question is interesting because like when I published the first tool, PDF chat, I think I also then added maybe two more tools like grammar fixer or something like that, and then I launched it on the product hunt. And due to the community support and people who supported me, I got to the top of the product of the day. I think it was the second place of the day. Thank you to everybody who supported me. It was like it was my huge win in that sense. And I think that after that, I think many directories, many websites, many newsletters, they probably scan product hunt for top products, yes, and they republish them. So from this moment, I didn't do anything for marketing. It was like for free. And because of this kind of feature, it was if you now publish PDF chat or launch a PDF chat with the sorry, how do we call it? Chat with PDF, yes, app. It won't be like exciting, interesting because everybody does it. But at that moment in the May, it was pretty exciting, and people just throw it was all tweets about it were viral. People answered, people liked it. It was like uh, I think it was only three products of this kind of on the market, and mine was also free. It was like for fun. I didn't know how to monetize that. I just kept building. That helped me to promote these tools further. So I think that in that sense, to answer a question, I think that the main source of traffic was first of all Twitter because I built it in public and showed to people. And then when I launched it on product account, people already knew what I was launching, yes, on the product account, and helped me to achieve the top place. And from that point, it was like just marketing for free, let's say so.
Wow, that's the dream. Um,
But for example, it doesn't work. It didn't work the same way for screenshot one because it's people helped me, people supported me. I'm super grateful. But since this product is like it's boring. It's just an API. It's boring SaaS, and people there is nothing to talk about. So for this tool, it was combination of product and launch and a bit of something new. Like it was PDF chat. Wow, I can chat with PDF. So that was, I think, two components for that.
so I'm sure some luck was involved in just like how it took off and it was like the one of the first products of its kind. But let's say you were building a new product today and you were just going to build a free product, something that you think is useful. Do you think you could
Mhm,
try to replicate like the product hunt launch and then make a little bit of a viral free product again?
mhm. It's a good question. It's a good question. You will edit the video, yes, after, because
Yeah.
it takes time a bit to think. Just you can just cut it off as you wish, of course. You don't need to. Okay, so if I can I replicate this? It's a good question. I think it will be hard. In what sense? I probably can get to the top 10 products of the day, probably, yes. And with enough like pressure, with enough building, telling stories, and so on, it will be still hard to do that. But to have that free marketing after the top 10 products, it might be hard because people need something to talk about it. And even if you get it, in my case, I wasn't super successful to monetize it. So what I should have done when I did it, when I won that product of the day and started to get this free traffic, I should have put some payment link, something. I did it only after 3 months or 2 months, and then I started to make money with the project. So I think it will be hard to replicate. So maybe I won't. If I started today, I also not sure. I'm not also sure that I will use free product, that I will build a free product, because, for example, in my current product screenshot one, I have a free plan, and it's a huge pain to support it. Many people come, they expect a lot from you in even in the free plan, and they don't pay anything, and you spend your time with them, and it feels like wasting time just for the sake of, I don't know even what I get in return for sharing the free plan. Maybe for some kind of products, it can be a good option. I think somebody who is going to build the main thing probably with the free products. I think that you should understand the reason why you do this. Yes, if you're afraid to put the payment link, you need to overcome yourself and put the payment link, yes. But if you do it on purpose, I don't know, for some marketing to make it easier for people to sign up and to share the link to your product, or you want to monetize it later, you have some plan, some strategy about that, I think it's okay, yes. But it also depends on the project because, for example, with Dmytro tools, I paid for OpenAI expenses, I paid for servers, for other stuff, so it was like I was, it was in some sense it was success because it was a popular product and so on. I made money from it. It was acquired, yes, but in some sense it was a failure because I probably could build something even bigger from that, yes. Just didn't have probably enough experience at that time.
I'm just thinking a lot because I'm trying to decide if I want to add like a free tier to the thing that I'm working on right now. So this is all very applicable. But do you feel
Yes.
like the free users at least allow you to get enough feedback to shape the product to where it provides more value? It maybe like initially at least.
Yes, I must admit something that I have only 2 years experience, yes, of that. I have only probably from 7 to 8 thousand users that have signed up to my product, yes. Most of them free users, and I have around 100 paying customers, yes. So what I see from the free users and from the paying customers, in my experience, yeah, just it's the feedback you get from the free users is very different from the feedback I get from the paying customers because they have different tasks. They see your product differently. They want different things from you. And eventually, you need to decide. I can give like a real example. For example, some guy approached to me and asked if I can, in my screenshot API, if I can return, for example, some data along among the screenshots. Some, for example, scrape something and return some data plus return the screenshot. And uh, the guy was on the free tier, and just implementing such feature for me will take a lot of time, and I'm not sure he will also subscribe to he will upgrade to the paid plan. And I'm not sure I want to build my product into that direction. And I also not sure there is one problem. For example, he's building some toy project and using my project for his toy project. Yeah, so he might abandon his project on the next day, but I have built a feature and I could spend this time for building, for example, a feature for the paying customers. Yeah, so it's a huge struggle for me because I really want to help everyone, even the free customers. Yes, but in the end of the day, right now I work solo and I need to decide what I need to build. And since I want to grow it, to grow revenue, I just recently understood, like maybe 2 months ago or even 1 month ago, that I need to focus on the features and requests that are coming from the customers who are paying because they have real problems and they want you to solve their real problems and they're building businesses and you know that your product is kind of part of their business. It brings some value, yes, because in the case of free customers, it depends why are they free customers. Yes, if they're just trying your product for they're ready to pay, but they want to try, yes, it's okay, I think. But if they just don't want to pay or they're just playing with it, you probably will optimize your product for for people who just want to play, not to buy. So we will have a
Yeah.
toy product for them. So this kind of I'm not sure if it helps you, yes, but this kind of heuristic I have right now. It's really easy to, not really easy, but it's easier to get signups, to get people using free product. But the problem is that then you have a lot of signups, some people using your product, and you might have feeling that you're building something interesting, something great. But the moment you start asking people to pay money, they can just nobody answers, they just churn, they don't want to use your product anymore. And you quickly realize that maybe you have spent all these 3 months building free product, just you just wasted your time. Yes. So for
Yeah.
example, if you ask me to try your product for free, I know you on Twitter, I follow you, we interact. I probably will do it for feedback to help you and so on. Yes. But you might interpret this my help like I can be a potential customer, yes. But un but until or unless but unless you charge me with the money, I think it just you need to be very careful with this feedback. For example, if I were starting today, it by default I would start from the like payment plan and then maybe try to use free trial or something like that to as a marketing or like it's a double-edged sword and you need to understand why you're doing this. Do you want to get some feedback just to test product? Okay, there is one use case interesting. For example, just to finding some bugs in some issues in the product. It's okay, yes. For example, just people signing up and testing your sign up is working, yes, everything works. Your positive flow is working, yes, your negative flow is working in the product. This kind of stuff, yes, it might be okay. But if you're going to build a product that brings money, you need to get feedback from people who pays money, I think. Yes, but it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I'm going through this right now because so my product, it's like a AI data visualization tool. So you can get like quick graphs of how people are
Yes,
using
yes.
your product
I
and
check it
people
out.
connect their cool and people connect their Airtable data. But some people just use Airtable as like their life's journal or like their life's to-do list. And like those customers, I don't want to optimize for. I want to optimize for the people that are like running parts of their business on it and are using it to look at like KPIs. So I just keep going back and forth on how I want to tackle this. So very applicable. But as
It's
far
hard.
as,
Yes.
yeah, it's like you never know if you're doing the right thing. You just have to make decisions and try your best, I guess. But I'm curious how, so you had a lot of free traffic, which was great, but I had this once before, and then when you try to charge people, usually it's really hard, doesn't work out. You get a lot of negative comments. It's not a fun place to be. So how did you
Yes,
end up getting people to actually pay for this?
yes,
What
yes.
what did you do to get that to happen?
It's a good question. It was different from for screenshot one and for Damongo tools, but we are talking about the Damongo tools. Yes. What I have, since I had some experience and I knew that charging people for subscription is very hard. To ask people to pay you monthly something and even more than $10, I don't know, it was very hard. I decided to check. I was also at this time I was also chatting with people like Dan Kolkov and others marketers in the area, and I was asking, how would you promote this project? How would you market it? How would you monetize it? Do you see any potential in it? And be honest. Tell me that I am shit. Tell me that I shouldn't do it or something like. I want like real feedback, not how to say, not kind words. Yeah.
Yeah.
So most of the people, marketers, experienced people, they tell me, okay, just try one-time payments and to see if it works at all. If people are ready to pay at least something to you, yes. So I put one-time payments. It was $49, I think, $49. You just pay once and you get access to the premium tools, to the premium features of the tools. For example, I had a screenshot scrolling tool. You can put your website and then you see how the site is scrolled and you get the video of the scrolled website. So uh, I added some premium features which were often asked, for example, duration of the video, some scrolling speed and some stuff. And surprisingly, people start buying this. Like they paid just for to unlock these features for one-time payment. And I was shocked because I didn't understand why. And I thought I was very afraid that people might buy this product just to support me. It's really it's cool. It's I really admire it and I love it and I love people. But if people pay me for supporting me, it's a bad signal because I don't know. It's you can't build
Yeah.
business on people supporting you. It's you need to know if there's real value and people are ready to pay for it. So I found that I checked all the people who bought the product. It was about maybe 10 sales. And two of them, I think, I suspect that they were for supporting me, some kind of support people just bought to show me their support, and I'm super grateful because it gives you any, even if you know that people support you, it gives you motivation anyway. You see this pin sale notification, and I saw you have a pinned tweet about Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
I love this joke about the $7.
Oh yeah. You're leaving
But
so much on the table not doing it because I got one sale from my Black Friday deal, which was 7.99, and then it didn't work for the person's table, so I had to refund them. I didn't even tell that part. So yeah, that was funny.
I want, I think it's an interesting story because um, if a person bought it, maybe you can find a second person who can buy it. Yes, maybe
Yeah,
you can find this kind of persons who buy. So what were you talking about? Sorry.
I forgot to. Oh, we were talking about your first like 10 customers that you got, and two of
Ah,
them
okay,
were
okay,
might have been people you
okay.
knew.
Okay, yes. So I put a payment link. It was one-time payment, 45 or $49. Because I felt it was like pretty fair price because I also paid for this scrolling screenshots. I used my screenshot one, for example. I used OpenAI and I, I saw it was I spent a lot of sorry. I paid a lot of for this expenses for OpenAI and other stuff. So I thought, okay, if $45, I will check if people can pay it. And if they pay it, then I can add subscription. For example, if they pay me 40, $45 for one-time payment, maybe they can pay me $7 a month. Yes, because I don't want to build this economy of the people use these lifetime deals to you can use this, yes, but if you, for example, I don't know, if you using this kind of hack, yes, for a long time, you might have a lot of customers who need to support, and I feel pretty, I don't know, awkward to do it this way.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I can do 10 sales, maybe 20 sales, and then switch to subscription to make sure it's a sustainable business, yes. I added payment link, but since I had a lot of traffic, it maybe was plus minus the time when I added the payment link, I was mentioned in the morning brew newsletter. It was, I don't know who put it, who put me on that newsletter, but I had something like six 6,000 visitors, unique visitors per day, I think.
Wow.
And yes, it was huge, and people, and luckily enough, I was lucky enough to have this payment link, so people started to buy. It wasn't like the problem that my site wasn't optimized for sales. It just was somewhere this you can upgrade. So if it was optimized, I would make much more money. But okay, it was what it was. So I made 8 sales, I think, and then later I made also 2 sales, yes. And that was uh, the first 10 users, let's say so.
Okay. I'm curious. So when I initially started building a SaaS, I always assumed that once people pay for my product, they'll use it every single day and I'll get tons of feedback right away. Is this what happened to you, or how often did these first users actually use the product, if you had a way to measure it?
Yes. If we talk about my screenshot API, for example, pe- uh, it's it's people use it often. If they pay for it, almost everybody uses it for constantly on the permanent basis. But if we talk about domain good tools, that's for example the thing that I didn't like because some people bought it and never returned, and I felt uncomfortable because I sold something. Okay, I have this money, but I don't understand like why did they buy it? Yes, what do they want to use it, or you can't build anything. It's really hard to build a sustainable business, maybe a subscription-based business. Because at the end of the day, I was thinking about that I will put subscriptions on this project, and so yes, it was. But ironically, I had customers, I don't know, who was returning to the project. Yes, so they were using it, they were suggesting my features and so on. When I saw I'm paying $100 per month and 20 and $200 per month, I said, okay, it just can't work this way. Economy doesn't hold this project. So I needed to do something about that. But I wanted to finish it with subscriptions, yeah, but to make sure that I can make at least something, I added one-time payments. And you asked about returning users. I think I answered. Okay.
So you got 10 users, and then you said in the end you had a couple hundred paying users. Is
No,
that
it
right?
was no, it was it's for screenshot one. I have 100 users, paying users, yes. But for Damango tools, it was like a lot of free users and only 10 paying users.
Okay. What, so for screenshot one, what was the main marketing channel to scale the
Mhm.
project to hundreds of users or paying
Uh,
users?
okay, let's switch to screenshot one. It's a good question because it's this project I started with SEO. I started in the when I started the project, when I was developing it, I already started to write articles, posts about what I was doing. how to make screenshots for free, how to use Puppeteer to make screenshots, any alternatives, other stuff. So you could. So when I launched it, I already have some traffic from Google, but I didn't convert. So I started to promote it everywhere on Twitter, on Indie Hackers, Reddit, and so on, Product Hunt, like everywhere. And it took me a lot of time. And now, after 2 years, my two main sources of traffic are Twitter and Google, yes. But from Twitter, I do have customers from Twitter, but I think that it's approximately about probably 10% of my customers. So maybe 10 customers out of 100 are from Twitter. Yes. And I doesn't I don't feel it is my main marketing channel. Like in some sense I am using Twitter for bragging. Like I have this win to chat with people, something, because it's a very niche product and it's really hard to find. For example, I saw people building SEO products, some small tools for marketing. It it's probably easier to sell this on Twitter, yes, but in my case, when you're selling some specific tool, screenshot API, super niche tool, SEO worked the best for me. I have posts where I describe how you can take a screenshot and then I show you an alternative, how you can use it for free, how you can, I don't know, how you can build your own API, but then I show you, okay, you can save your time, energy, and everything, and you can just use my API. So it's like SEO works for me in that way, but not bot, yes, or bot. So you need to edit this. Sorry. Uh, SEO works for me, and I'm already approaching the top position for the screenshot API. So now I'm at the second position. I hope I will be on the first one, and I think it will boost my sales. Not only because you're the first on the Google, but I have some kind of intuition, maybe you also have it, that people, it's the first time I'm saying this, it sounds strange, but the people trust the first position on Google. Maybe strange,
Oh yeah.
Like if you see the screenshot API on the first position on the second, I can bet that people trust the first position more. Yes, even so they can check every position. Yes, there is something in Google signals you that okay, maybe this screenshot API is the best one. Yes. So I want to get it to this position and to see how it works. I think it will happen eventually, maybe in months or two. So I'm fully focused on this kind of channel right now. I also bought a course from George O'Connor, Rank to Sell, I think. Yes, and I also probably will buy some tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush I will try to do anything that I can to get to this position.
Yeah.
Anything legal, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fair
So
enough. I feel like I could keep asking you questions forever about this stuff. It's very interesting. But for today, where can people like find you, learn more about you and your projects?
I think you can find me on Twitter. I think it's my main place where, I hang out a lot of time. So it's the top place to find me. And that's all. I also have my blog, LinkedIn, newsletter, but Twitter is the channel where I am the most active.
And I'll put your Twitter handle in the about on the video.
Oh, the same as my name, Dmytro Krasun. It's like Dmytro Krasun.
Cool.
Dmytro Krasun.
Cool. I think this is going to be really helpful. It was helpful for me. So thanks for taking the time to do it.
Thank you. Thank you for reaching out and thank you for chatting with me. Thank you, Adam.